I think I owe some of y'all an apology because I made a video talking about games everybody seems to love, but I just could not get into. And apparently putting Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2 on that list was enough to get my gamer card revoked. Some of y'all were not having it. So instead of sitting here arguing with everybody in the comments, I decided to do something. I went back. I gave both games a real chance. And with Red Dead, I didn't just play another couple missions. I finished the whole game. In Elden Ring, yeah, I was not expecting what happened with that one. So after giving both of these games another chance, was I wrong? Yeah, but it's a little more complicated than that. Let's start with Red Dead Redemption 2, because out of these two games, Red Dead was probably the one I had the strangest relationship with. The crazy thing is, I never thought Red Dead was bad. The story actually hooked me from the beginning. The characters were interesting, I wanted to know what was going to happen, and the gunplay? Bro, the gunplay is fun. That was never my problem with this game. My problem was actually playing everything around those moments. The first time I really tried getting into Red Dead, I think I made it through maybe 3 or 4 main missions, and then I just stopped. There wasn't some moment where I went, this game is trash, I'm done. Nothing like that. I just turned it off one day and never really felt the urge to load it back up. And looking back at it now, I think I finally understand why. This game feels heavy. Arthur moves like this man has been working a 12-hour shift before I even picked up the controller. And Rockstar wants you to physically experience everything. You want to loot somebody? Arthur's got to bend down and actually search them. Open something? There's an animation. Pick something up? Animation. Search another body? Another animation. I understand why Rockstar did it. They wanted immersion. They wanted everything to feel physical and realistic. But sometimes, bro, just give me the loot. Assassin's Creed figured this out. Let me grab that and keep it moving. And it doesn't help that the beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2 is slow. Like, really slow. The story was keeping me interested, but from a gameplay perspective, I wasn't getting that feeling where I couldn't wait to pick the controller back up. And that's ultimately why I stopped. But this time, I told myself I'm actually finishing this game. No playing 3 missions and disappearing for another year. I'm seeing this thing through. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it took a while. There wasn't some magical mission where suddenly everything changed. I just slowly started getting used to Red Dead being Red Dead. Even the horse riding. At first, riding everywhere contributed to that feeling of everything taking forever. But after playing for a while, I actually started enjoying it. I'd be riding somewhere, and instead of thinking, can we hurry this up? I started looking around, exploring, seeing what was happening in the world, getting distracted by random stuff. And that's when I started appreciating what Rockstar actually built here. This world is ridiculous. You can be heading toward a mission and completely forget what you were doing because something random happens on the side of the road. And eventually, I stopped fighting against the slower pace and started enjoying the world for what it was. But the thing that really carried Red Dead for me was still the story. That hooked me at the beginning, and by the end, yeah, it got me. Arthur Morgan really grew on me. Watching his story develop throughout the game made me understand why people are so attached to this character. And when everything starts coming together toward the end, I'm not gonna lie, it was emotional. I was invested. And that's when I realized something. Even if I still have problems with certain parts of the gameplay, the story alone is enough for me to understand why people call Red Dead Redemption 2 a masterpiece. So was I wrong about Red Dead? Yeah, I was. I still don't like how heavy Arthur feels sometimes, and I still think looting and some of these little interactions take way longer than they need to. Those criticisms didn't magically disappear because I finished the game, but everything else, I finally get it. The world, the characters, the gunplay, and especially the story. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a masterpiece. But here's the interesting part. I finished it and I'm good. I don't mean that negatively. I had my experience. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I finally finished it, but I don't really have that urge to immediately go back and start playing again. And that's very different from what happened with the next game. Elden Ring was weird for me because unlike Red Dead, I couldn't even really explain why this game didn't click the first time. I liked the combat, I liked exploring, I liked the bosses, I liked the world and the story behind it. On paper, this should have been my type of game, but every time I tried playing it, something just wasn't clicking. Going back to it now, I think one of my biggest problems was that I didn't understand what the hell I was doing with my build. There's all these stats, weapon scaling upgrades, and I'm sitting there like, okay, what am I actually supposed to level up? And I didn't love feeling like I needed to pull out my phone and research everything everything just to know if I was building my character correctly. What stats should I upgrade? What equipment should I use? Does this weapon work with this? Am I completely screwing myself over? It made part of the game feel like homework, and I think that stopped me from really settling into it. But this time, I finally found a weapon and build that I actually enjoyed using, and that changed everything. Suddenly, I wasn't constantly worried about whether I was playing the game correctly. I had something that worked for me. I understood what I was trying to do, and then I did something else differently. I stopped worrying so much about where I was supposed to go. I just started exploring. See something interesting over there? I'm going over there. There's a cave? I'm going inside. There's something that looks like it's probably going to kill me? Apparently I'm going over there too. And that's when Elden Ring finally clicked for me. And then we gotta talk about these bosses, because Elden Ring will piss you off. There were fights where I was raging. I'm sitting there getting destroyed over and over again. And somehow, instead of making me want to turn the game off, it made me want to keep playing. Because now it became, nope, I'm not leaving until you die. In every attempt, you're learning something. Maybe I dodged too early. Maybe I got greedy. Maybe I should have healed there. Maybe I shouldn't have tried getting that extra hit. And then eventually, you beat them. That feeling? Yeah, I get it now. Once I understood my build and started exploring however I wanted, I started loving everything about this game. The bosses, getting stronger, finding new equipment, exploring the world, and especially the lore. There's always this feeling that there's something else out there that I haven't found yet, and that's probably the biggest difference between Elden Ring and Red Dead for me. So now comes the part that's probably gonna start another argument. After finally giving both games a real chance, I like Elden Ring more than Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't get me wrong, I like Red Dead now, and I think Red Dead's story alone makes that game a masterpiece. I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I finally experienced Arthur's story, but now that I'm done, I'm done. I don't really feel that urge to go back. Elden Ring, I want to play it again. There's still stuff I want to find, bosses I want to fight, different weapons I want to mess around with, different ways I could build my character. I actually want to go back into that world. So was I wrong? Yeah, I was wrong about both of these games. Red Dead Redemption 2 gave me one of the best stories I've experienced in the game, and Elden Ring, that was the bigger surprise, because I didn't just learn to appreciate it, I became a fan. Once I stopped worrying about playing it the right way and found a build that worked for me, everything clicked. So congratulations, y'all got me. I went into this not being able to get into either one and came out calling both of them masterpieces. But if you're making me choose, I'm taking Elden Ring. Now I want to know something. What's a game you couldn't get into the first time, gave another chance, and ended up loving? And more importantly, what game should I give another chance next? Drop it in the comments.